Okay, this is the first one of these that I've tried, I apologize if anything's unclear, but we'll give it a shot. All right, so um, in class we were talking about survivorship, and this is the lab. So if you weren't here, or if you weren't sure how to do this, from the description in class, I'm making this um, little video. So you should see my screen. And one of the questions was, what can you learn from studying life tables? We talked about that. But for this particular one, we're looking at Doll Mountain sheep from Alaska. We talked about that in class, and we have the data from Figure 2. And in fact, I inputted that data into a spreadsheet. So if you look here, you can see that we have the age interval from zero, from birth to 14 and a half. And you can see the number surviving at the beginning of the interval. Now I build this whole table. This table has a number dying during the interval, then number surviving as a fraction of the newborn, mortality rate, and then number surviving for 1,000. This is what we're going to want for our data set. Okay, so you may wonder why they didn't put number surviving during the interval. Number dying during the interval. It's because they don't really know how many died during the interval. They sort of have to use that. They get that from knowing how many were at the beginning of the interval, and then they subtract the next interval to find the number that were dying during that interval. Okay. So, how to do this? Well, let's go back to our other sheet and we'll see. So, examine the data. What do you know about the way to study? You don't know what about the study, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it says to fill in the rest of the data table. And I'm going to do this. The reason I'm going to fill this one in and build it because I'm going to show you a little bit how to build a spreadsheet data table. Okay, so numbers surviving dying during the interval. So to do this, we're going to click in this interval. We want to know how many die there. Now, if we look here, we can see that there are, in this interval, a certain number die between here and here. So this is the interval between 0 and 1.5. And so to figure that out, we are going to do this minus this. Oops, and I see I did that backwards. I got a negative number. We know we don't want a negative number, so it's going to be this minus this one. Okay, so 121 die during that interval, and what we can do is we can drag this down, and this is a little trick. So if you take, oops, and anytime that happens, we'll get rid of it. So if you take this little box here in the corner, it will actually copy the entire formula in each one. You can look here, you can make sure that we have that. So it's going to be that minus that, this minus this. If you double click and don't do anything else, it'll just show you the boxes that they're coming from. Okay, so number surviving is a fraction of the newborn. Okay, it's going to be this number divided by this number. Well, actually, of newborn, it's going to be this number divided by this number. So we go equals this divided by this. Now, if we keep doing this, what's going to happen is we are going to get the same thing. We don't want that. We always want this one to be divided by this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little trick here, and if we take this number, we want the denominator to be always 608. So if we put a dollar sign in here, same number, but watch. As we do this, it'll always fix on that cell. So each time, it's going to fix on this cell right here. And we get mortality rate, the number dying during the interval, as a fraction of the number surviving. So it's going to equal this divided by this one. And then we can slide this all the way down, and we will continue going here. Now, they're all down here, so there's no more in this interval. So there's a number divided by 0. That's a number. That's an error. So we're just going to clear that right there. Okay. Now, number surviving per 1,000. So this number here is the number surviving as fraction of the newborn, where 608 is the original. But there is a fraction here. We know this is some proportion of the whole of 1. Now, that's for 100%. So if we wanted to know what 100%, we multiply this by 100. If we multiply it by 1,000, that'll give us per 1,000%. So we'll multiply that here, 1,000. So we get 1,000, and we can run this down to this way, bring that down, and we will So a survivorship curve is going to be the number surviving per 1,000, and that's the way we build a survivorship curve. Is it's at each interval how many individuals, what proportion per 1,000 are alive during each age interval. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this one, and I'm going to drop it down here, and I'm going to paste it. I'm then going to copy this one, and I'm going to paste this one too, but I'm going to need to paste special because I don't want the formulas, I want values only. Oops, I don't think I copied it. So we'll go back to here, and I'll take this and copy it. So there, Command C. We'll go over to our spot right next to it, and we will go paste special. That's a right click, and values only. Okay, you got all these weird, crazy numbers. We can change that by looking up here and getting rid of them. Oops. There, now I have them there. All right, so now we want to graph this. We want to make our survivorship curve. So to do that, we're going to click on graph. Oops. Yep, so you got number surviving per 1,000. Great. We want to make a line graph. Okay. Now there's a couple things we want to change because this is number surviving per 1,000, but for reasons that we're not going to talk about right now during this podcast, or podcast, I don't know what you call this recording, you want to do this number surviving per 1,000 on a logarithmic scale. So we're going to change and so you can change the axis. I'm not going to do that right now, but I am going to show you how to change this axis. So we're going to get over here to the left. We're going to go to the vertical axis, and we're going to go down, and we're going to change it to log scale. Okay. So now what you have is an age interval on the x-axis, and you have number surviving per 1,000 logarithmic scale, where each block is an order of magnitude, 10, 100, 1,000. All right. So this is a survivorship curve. And I'm going to insert it here just so that you guys can see what it's going to look like. Maybe. Insert. Now you would actually need to work on your axes. I'll let you guys figure that out. But this will get you to the spot. Now we're going to do this for human populations. I'll probably make another one of these when we do human populations as well. But hopefully that will get you started. All right.